Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Hello/X/ I work for one of the many soulless megacorporations you know and love. Over many years I have made sacrifices in order to climb the ranks and bring home the bread to my child. However, I don't want to sit idly for much longer. There exists a hellish supercity where psychic warfare is the norm. Many young men are drugged and trafficked into this town and turned into mindless working drones. Meanwhile, the board members of the invincible monopoly live like kings and gods off their labor. Currently, this is of no threat or worry to any of you. But I have learned that the company I am working for plans to expand this model outwards toward the rest of the world using technology and power you cannot even begin to fathom. I cannot say too much as I fear for the lives of my wife and child. However, I want the message to get out. Are you interested?
This sounds like an ad for Blood 2.
Haha, I wish it was my friend. If only this was all just a video game, that would be so much better for us all. Now listen, there have been progressively exponentially faster towards their goals lately, and it is worrying me greatly. I think those of you who live in rural areas and like to stay observant will be able to understand what I'm saying clearly. For those in the cities, you will probably think this is all bullshit, but I want to level with you all the most, as you are in the most immediate danger. Things to be wary of: purple, green, triangles. I hope the more curious of you will be able to take what I am saying and run with it, in case I meet an untimely demise. Finally, I have one associate of mine that I trust. He and I are currently putting together a way to put up a resistance against our superiors, but our time for today is running short.
So purple-green triangles are going to turn the world into a super city where psychic warfare is the norm. War is bad for business. Why would your company make a cool psychic war zone and not just enslave us?
Psychic warfare, as in the drones of the city, are under constant mental bombardment from the devices the company has developed. It doesn't always work perfectly, but has been getting much better lately. There is quite a lot of violence in the city. As I already said, I assume it's just for the amusement of the higher-ups. Or perhaps it is a malfunction in the city's grid. Either way, the effect on efficiency is negligible. As for why they would want to enslave people, isn't it obvious? With endless drones, you can do whatever you want and be like a god.
So your first instinct is to post on /X.
This is just one of many avenues my associate, Pal, and I have chosen to go down. You know what they say about sowing many seeds and all.
On that note, why don't you explain about the green, purple, and triangles, pal?
The green stuff, hopefully you can understand that I am not able to say the exact phrasing, is a part of a breakthrough that has recently been made. The company I work for, let's call them SC, is using this as a new source of power. It is more efficient in running vehicles than oil, and deadlier in explosives than even uranium. The purple refers to a certain group of people. They are psychotic murderers, and you should be slightly worried if you see anyone wearing outfits of this color, especially if you are in blue. Their mirror, if you will, are the boys in pink. They are quite rambunctious. They may not outright kill you on sight, like their purple counterparts, but they will surely cause you trouble. I honestly have no clue what SC has planned for these groups. They seem to be a rank above the basic slave labor that runs the model city. However, with their increased freedoms comes less efficiency, and they often just kill each other en masse. Perhaps it's just some sick show the board members like to watch. As for triangles, the board members seem to be very infatuated with the shape. I don't quite understand it. They use it in a lot of their branding. I prefer trapezoids, to be honest, but that is completely unrelated. And for Pal, he is just another man, like me. He is like a brother to me, and we are working together to put a stop to our company's plots.
Solar City? All right then. What do you expect people to do to help you? You think just you and your pal can take down the whole corporation by yourselves? You guys are dealing with psycho killers here.
Haha, too bad their goals aren't as simple as pushing green energy onto people. But no, it's not that simple. I don't think you can easily find them publicly, if at all. They have a lot of empty subsidiaries. Pal and I alone can do nothing. Even if we both strapped nuclear bombs to our backs and went jihad mode, I don't think we would completely eradicate them. They're like cockroaches, very inhuman people. However, history runs on momentum. Perhaps a small push now can lead to something much bigger down the line. Even if we just slow them down, I will die happy.
So royalty money and Illuminati?
I'm not sure exactly. I don't know most of the board members themselves. But they use very similar iconography and tactics as is talked about in regards to any theory of who controls the world. I wouldn't be surprised if they were all part of some elite death cult. All I know is that they are evil.
Knowing that certain psychotronic technology exists now makes me wonder what the endgame is of some of these groups. The groups that followed me were channers that somehow got their hands on the technology. Then I think about all the other groups that have no affiliation with the channers and what they're up to. Some of this stuff can affect blocks of people with a push of a button. The range is freaky since they can do it from 6 to 8 hours away from the metropolitan cities. New World Order? I don't know, maybe. This stuff probably won't be used outside of bigger cities. If anything, invest in shielding. I'm still trying to figure out how it works. Radio waves, electric and magnetic fields. Anyways, I believe you, even if it might be a LARP.
Well, I cannot say whether or not your instances have anything to do with SC, but it isn't out of the question. I can say for certain that SC is working on and with a metropolitan ranged psychic controller. However, I'm not sure if it was built in the city, or if the city was built around it. I have no idea what the origins of the technology is.
Psychic controller. I may be dumb for asking this question, but does any of what you're talking about have to do with 5G towers? Last one I visited was right by my own house. It had a barbed wire fence and a Homeland Security sign outside of it.
You're onto something. I'm pretty sure 5G towers are based on whatever the thing at the center of the city is.
How long do we have, Anon? What should we do to prepare if they're not stopped?
From where I am standing, I'm afraid things have gotten out of hand. I wouldn't be surprised if it all hits the fan by the end of the month. I would say to prepare as best as you can. Avoid 5G towers, etc. Either way, Pal and I are out of time for the night. We are going to go try to grab some food and get ready for an all-nighter. Unsurprisingly, it will be hard to find any food that isn't at least tangentially associated with our own company. They have their hands in many different pots, especially fast food. Surprisingly, however, we did some digging and found out that Discord, of all places, may be the ideal place for us to gather online for the time being. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down. Hell, watch out for news of a Discord buyout in the coming days. So if we need to, we will come back here. If Pal and I aren't heard from again, we either found a better route to accomplish our goals or met our inevitable deaths. Good night, sleep tight, stay away from the green goop.
Boys in pink. Mirrors. Are they like guards? Like the Pinkertons? And purple, are they military or just cops?
That's good that there's two of you. I hope neither of you is Cha. Though fuck, that is so irksome. I see how the elite would enlist some battalion of Hollywood tech theater nerds to build a fake city as their satanic amusement park. Maybe on land reclaimed from the sea around Diego Garcia, or in giant caverns in the Antarctic ice excavated by simply spraying hot water. I'm in one of these fake cities now, almost certainly. I'm staying at a hotel and there was some stray cat outside in the rain mewing, so I let it in to warm up. Then the cat got up and walked over to my pack. I asked the cat if it was a robot and it nodded and winked. When I was petting it, I saw the scar on its head where they put the remote control microchip. They probably do that to people too. I see you mentioned that they are using the new energy technology. All of this happening in the palm of my hand, and I am totally confident that I will destroy them. It is written, literally. Thanks for doing good and not being evil. I literally could not do it without you. Thank both of you. I love you.
Thank you very much for your interest and kind words. If you are truly in the city right now, I hope you are safe. It is very hard to resist their control. Almost every person in the city immediately becomes a drone. And even if one is able to resist, there is still the insane amount of violence in the streets day in and day out.
Strong feelings that this is Disney shit. There's something powerfully dark about Disney and how much they really control. And I don't just mean their monetary influence. Eyes out for those sick freaks regardless.
I like where you are going here. Without putting myself in too much danger just yet, I'd say you are closer than most.
Hello, and finally. We have been trying to reach you now for months. We were afraid that this message would never reach you. Everything you know is a lie, your whole life. The home you live in, the crappy job you go to every day. You are more than what you think you are. And please do not stop reading, as we do not know if we will be able to get another message to you. Microsoft has become a villainous corporation and has been polluting the world commerce, economy, governmental structure, and citizenship with its devices and technology for decades. Finally, they went too far with a mobile subdermal interface that came standard and free with all new Windows phones. The new interface let you connect with your phone using your mind. Only problem is, our CIA officials discovered that there was more to this plot, and that beneath the layers of coding there is a world being established by our connection through these devices. Already people are going there in their dreams and sometimes having trouble waking back up again. Eventually, we believe that Microsoft is attempting to replace the real world with the virtual world through the subtle planting of their devices now within our populations. If this plan works, all they will have to do is flip a switch, and something far worse than the Matrix will be born overnight. We sent you in undercover. You have been laying in a hospital bed for months now, working within the system, experiencing it, and collecting recon. If you don't have your memories back by now, there must be something malfunctioning in your subdermal device. We cannot run diagnostics on it, however, until after it has been removed, and removing it while you are within the net state could kill you. It is up to you to stop this corruption from within. We believe that if you can cause a big enough problem for Microsoft while you are in the system, that they will push you out on their own, and we will be able to revive you. We miss you. Good luck.
Only the good die young. I am a pipe fitter for a large corporation. We set up mechanical rooms that feed buildings' fire control suppression systems, basically the water lines that feed sprinkler systems and fire hydrants. If you are not installing this type of equipment, you are going from site to site doing inspection work, checking the valves, checking the piping for leaks and damages, refilling and replacing fire extinguishers. I was doing an inspection of a heritage building. The building is in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. It used to be a candy factory, and they've turned it into a condominium building. So I went into the basement to go to the mechanical room. The mechanical room is where the main water line comes in and branches off into domestic and fire lines. Here I check the alarm panel and hit bypass to not trip alarms as I cycle valves and whatnot. On my way out of the room, I faintly hear singing. I might as well be the one. Well, they showed you a statue, told you to pray. They built you a temple and locked you away. I thought, that's weird. Someone's down here fucking around singing Billy Joel. I walk down the hall from the mechanical room in the direction of the voice. It's getting louder. I turn the corner, and at the end of the hall is a guy mopping the floor in a janitor's uniform with headphones on singing. You got a nice white dress and a party on your confirmation. All of a sudden, the lights in the hallway go out. I step back a couple feet and look down the hall where I came from. I can see a bit of light illuminating the stairs, going up about 50 feet down. Hey, dude, the power went out. I look back down towards the guy, but it's pitch black darkness. I take my cell phone out and turn the screen towards his direction. All I can see is two glowing eyes like a cat's in the dark about 35 feet down. The thing is, they aren't low to the ground. They are human height, 5'6" to 6 feet in the air. Dude. They are coming closer. Hey, man. Closer, but no answer. I fucking run full blast towards the stairs, and all I hear behind me in this loud, deep demon voice is, "Only the good young." My blood goes cold, and I get hot lightning run up my back as my hairs stand on end. I run up the stairs 4 or 5 steps at a time. As I turn the corner for the next set of stairs, I see a figure in my peripheral vision at the doorway I just came from. It was tall, skilly, and pale. That's all I could make out. I continued my work on the upper floors and outside, but I didn't go back downstairs. I kept thinking about it, but I am a worker and kept enough focus to do my job. I signed out of the contractor's logbook and went home. I get a call on my cell phone from my boss. The alarm company called. They said the panel is still on bypass. Did you forget to turn it back on? Ah, shit. Yay. I did. I am so sorry. Well, you better get out there and do it. If there is a fire, they aren't going to hear the alarms. We can't take that risk. Roger that. I live on Long Island, so that's a long way to go through traffic. But hey, I fucked up. The whole time I am going there, I am thinking of what happened. But you gotta do what you gotta do to get paid. By the time I get there, it's about 9:15 p.m. I got the call at 7:45 p.m. So I talk to security and I say, "Hey man, this is kind of a weird building. Ever notice anything strange on any of the floors? Or basement?" He gives me a look. Why? Just curious. It's an old building, man. Funny noises and faulty wiring. Yeah, I hear that. Now, because I was scared but too macho to admit it, I wanted him to come down without sounding like a pussy, so I say, "Hey man, have they trained you to out the system on bypass and take it off bypass?" "Nope." "Well, tonight is your night. Follow me. It will only take 2 minutes." So we head on down in the basement. My hair is already standing up. So we get to the mechanical room and open the panel. I showed him how to take it off bypass and reset the panel. We are headed back to the stairs. We are feet from the doorway and we hear, "Come out, Virginia, don't let him wait." We look at each other and he goes, "I better go check it out." Dude, don't even bother. Trust me. What? Just trust me, man. Like you were saying before, it's an old building and makes funny noises. The lights flicker a bit and we both feel a presence near us. It's cold, and if it makes any sense, there is a feeling of viscosity to the air, almost a heavy, humid air. We leave. I sign out and I am driving home. I'm passing through Brooklyn and right behind my head in the back seat, I hear the melody of "Only the Good Die Young" being whistled perfectly and clear. I panic and smash my car into a car in front of me. The airbags go off and the horn is going. I am half out of it as the airbag smashed me hard. I kind of come back to reality to the sound of laughter. Ha ha ha. Only the good die young. Only the good die young. I can hear the person singing it right next to me and then outside, and it's fading away like the person is walking away singing. Then, "Hey buddy, you okay?" I got a concussion and 2 slip discs in my neck. I also smashed the hell out of my shins into the bottom of the dash. I also was blamed for the accident, and now my insurance is sky high. That's my story.
Why the sudden preparation? Will work for a large company that is run by a state organization. It's home health care. Lately, we are being prepped on what to do with our clients in case of an emergency. Quite adamantly, I may add. We've never had to have training like this before in the whole 5 years I've worked there. It's caused suspicions because not only were we sitting through multiple training sessions, but also now there are going to be devices put in the clients' homes that we must sign into every day in order to show we are present there. The training is especially persistent on the workers providing their location in the event of disaster, even if it's not scheduled work hours. They're using the guys because your family is concerned where you're at. Another thing that should be mentioned is whether we are there during scheduled work hours, it's imperative we go and get the clients at all cost and keep them in our care until told otherwise. I fear this corporation may have knowledge of something we don't. I should note I don't live in an area that consistently has natural disaster. Aside from the occasional storm, no earthquake, tornado, or hurricane has ever in my entire 5 years here been an issue. Anyone care to elaborate? All I was told is it'll be a phone that has a direct line to tell when we arrive and leave, which it has always been that we call to clock in and out with the client's home phone, which they are required to have when we provide services. It's also been said by the administration that if there's an emergency or disaster, we choose said line to report it. They were very clear that if it's an unusual emergency, as in the client freaks out or falls and is hurt, we are to report it directly to the office administration and not the emergency device. That is their terminology, not my own. They are calling it a direct device. That's all the information I have on it until the installer has been there. I have an update of sorts. I work the night shift. The last meeting about the installation of the devices was yesterday morning, so I've since gone in for my shift. One of the other people who work in the same facility I do is the husband of the scheduling supervisor. She holds a high rank in the main office, so to speak. Anyway, he too is showing signs of anxiety about the situation. Of course, now we all are. Honestly, he's quite the dullard, but he also is a bit of a blabbermouth when it comes to office rumors and the like. He kept going on last night about how the state will eventually take over the company entirely, and cautioned me to be careful about everything I do because they are watching the field staff especially closely. What really piqued my interest was what he said about the owner of the company. Apparently, he's been going out of town frequently to discuss said changes in protocol with some unknown officials. In the 5+ years I've worked there, he's been in the office every day. Aside from the occasional vacation, specifically one time, has never gone out of town on business. I don't know what that means exactly, but you gotta understand, I know the owner very well. He started this company 20-some years ago and wouldn't use it for anything. It's his baby. He's made millions from this business. It's always done very well. So for a government agency to be coming in and completely controlling every aspect of it, coupled with the training and implementation of these devices, is completely out of the ordinary. Things are completely tense, and everyone there in the know is very nervous. I don't know what to make of it. Maybe it's just a matter of everyone's job being on the line, but I really don't think so. I'm very suspicious of what's going on.
The following is by Pal exposing SC from the first post. It's a transcript of a video he made as a death message, which I will link below.
Hello, world. If you're hearing this, I guess that means I'm dead. Or just missing. Hopefully just missing. With that being the case, I think it's finally time to release it all. Please stick with me for this. My name is Brian. Anand's name is Joseph. I am, or was, just another 20-something STEM major until I took an internship summer camp deal for what I thought was just another tech startup. It all seems so stupid now in hindsight. After many months of training, I was asked to be a part of their exclusive program that had all sorts of benefits. Of course, being the poor kid I was with no prospects, I took it immediately. That's what led me to SC, or as they are truly called, Slime Corp. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's what they call themselves. It's the secret head organization of one of the world's largest mega corporations, Nickelodeon, Pizza Hut, KFC, Taco Bell, aka Yum, Brands, Monster Energy, etc. They even run the stock markets. Do not consume any of those products. They are poison to your body and soul. But I guess that's just the least of our worries right now. They weren't always called Slime Corp. In fact, they just recently changed their name after their greatest discovery, the titular slime. This is the green ooze, a wonder material able to do so many things. Its energy output is greater than oil. Its weapon capabilities are stronger than nuclear. They keep the truth behind the slime quite a secret. But just from these surface details, you can tell that it is very valuable. So much so that as soon as they discovered what seems to be the epicenter of all slime, they started to build facilities surrounding it. That's where we are right now. It's a region completely dark to the outside world, a hidden megacity named Enslavement, often referred to colloquially as Slime City. In this hellscape, there are three major groups, what we refer to as regular juvies, gangsters, and Slime Corp. Juveniles are the slave labor that is trafficked in from many sources all over the world. We now theorize that one of these sources may be the Church of Scientology, but Joseph and I are truly unsure. There are just so many brought in day after day, all to do hard labor for the corporation. They work day in and day out to collect and carry the slime. They're even experimented on quite regularly. Then there are the gangsters. We call them this in spite of their loose organization skills, mostly as a shorthand. This is a group of juveniles that has escaped the endless cycle of working, eating, and sleeping, replacing the work with murder. All day and night they are murdering as they please, a truly awful existence. Furthermore, there are two main groups of gangsters, the ones that are in pink and the ones in purple. The pink ones are called rowdies. They are all anarchist juvies and mindless fools. They piss and shit wherever they please, stomp about, and kill for fun. Meanwhile, the purple group is called the killers, all very edgy, goth, and emo. They kill to feel cool. Both groups have loose organization skills, and it is questionable whether either have a true head or leader. However, we have heard rumors that the rowdies do have a top dog, so to say. Finally, there are the select few that lord over the whole city, Slime Corp. I guess you could technically say that is what I am a part of, the corporation that controls it all. Now, how is it that SC doesn't lose control of this whole operation? Well, that's one of the most fascinating parts. In the middle of the city is a gigantic pillar. It is a large green monument, very similar to the Washington Monument, with strange markings on its head. Slime Corp calls it the Pillar, as it does not have a true name, at least not to my knowledge. But some of the juvies call it Endless War, or EW. Just like the origin of slime, the true nature of EW is kept a mystery. However, we do know its effects on people. Within the range of many miles, all those unprotected, especially those that are not yet fully developed, are turned into easily controlled, mindless drones. Which is why Slime Corp brings in so many young people, mostly boys, to work for them. And it is why the juvies act as they do. Endless War is Slime Corp's strongest node of power. With it, they are able to control most of what happens in the city. The juvies are all just worker bees for their system, and any gangster that gets out of line is immediately slaughtered. So, just to recap before going on, basically, a gigantic megacorporation has created their own fake city where they force millions of young people to work to their death in order to learn and use the secrets of the supermaterial known as slime. Within the city is suffering, death, and chaos, but Slime Corp is able to control it all thanks to the device known as the Pillar. Now, of course, this is tragic. Millions of children from across the globe are getting their lives ruined and minds destroyed just so a company can get more power. But it is more than just a faraway problem. Slime Corp plans for this to happen to you as well. As we speak, South Carolina is developing ways to implement miniature versions of the Pillar all around the world. They will use the psychic dulling of the Pillar and the insane power of slime to turn every person in the world into their own personal pet. This is worse than anything ever seen before. So how do we stop this? Well, as of recording this, I don't know. But we do have some information to share, and hopefully the more people know, the harder it will be for SC to make their moves. The date is June 21st, 2019. I'm putting this message into Brian's data drop because things are not looking very good for either of us. Hello, I am Joseph, the man you have all known as Anon. Pal, or as I call him, Brian, is gone. After the poster's markings were found, Brian thought it would be a great idea to go stake out the areas the posters were placed in order to learn more about SC. Of course, I told him that he has no training for that type of situation, and Slime Corp has all of the resources in the world. But hey, I guess if you're hearing this, I told you so. Ha ha ha. And now Brian is dead. Anyways, we have a chance here to take down Slime Corp before they can expand their reach even further. Do you remember when we talked about the kingpins all that time ago? Well, we got in contact with the leader of the rowdies, Munchie, as we hinted already. Luckily, he has slipped just enough out of the grasp of Endless War's psychic control in order to see the full picture, and he is pissed. So, Munchie and I devised a plan to help the rowdies take over Slime City and take out Slime Corp, something that even those of you listening right now will be able to help out with. Please stay attentive. After this video drops, I will show you what must be done. So what else is there to really say? Oh yeah, Enslavement. That actually stands for New Los Angeles City, aka Neo Milwaukee. It's located on the coast of what Slime Corp calls the Slime Sea, a giant reservoir filled with slime. Still, we do not know if the Slime Sea is natural, or if Slime Corp uses it to store their stock. You should be able to find the Slime Sea on a map if you look hard enough. The place is a complete dump full of the grossest looking people you've ever met. Many of them are just normal juvies, some with a strange gimmick about them. But there are a large many of disgusting mutated people. Most likely experiments of Slime Corp's many experiments. Speaking of which, Slime Corp has built the city to run almost exclusively on slime. The trains, the lights, the weapons used by security and the gangsters. They even have bullets that implement slime for an extra kick. The juvies work in underground shafts to obtain usable slime. They farm disgusting organic creations made of slime. The streets and sewers are all covered in slime. It's all according to the designs of Slime Corp. The people who run it are sick and inhuman. The board of directors call themselves the Ends. They distinguish themselves via numbering. I will have to admit though, I kinda have a crush on N6, who is technically my boss. She runs the R&D division, the place where I intern at. But anyways, what is there even for me to say? None of this is really that important. Just stop supporting Slime Corp and their entities and prepare to listen to Joseph. Whatever he will say will be much more important. He has it all in his head. The information, the plans, the designs. Hopefully he dies first. That way people can get better information. Ha ha ha, ha. I hope we all make it out all right. Maybe I can take Enza out on a date to the Red Mobster. Get her to see why what they're doing is wrong. I don't even care about science or engineering. I only ever wanted a job like this so I could raise a family of my own.
Not sure where to post this, but has anyone noticed all the metro or underground train works being done simultaneously around the world right now? I don't think it's a coincidence. They must be going to double as something else. Also, have you noticed everything increasing in cost, and companies trying extra hard to save their own costs while they charge as much as they can from us? I think there's more to it than what people think. I feel these large companies have given up completely, even pretending to care about customers or be affordable because they know we are all going to die soon, and they are literally trying to absorb us of our wealth and keep as much money to themselves as they can so they can build some shit or finance research something, I don't know. Where's the money going? Who's it going to? Where's it end up getting spent? It doesn't make sense. Every super large company, corporation, and even governments through increased fines and parking and taxes, etc., are stockpiling this money for something or spending it to build something or what? Has anyone else thought about this? I think they know something we don't. Or I need to see my doctor. What do you think, Anons? What do you...
Things are costing more all of the time because we use an artificial currency backed by nothing, the value of which arbitrarily changes all the time. Companies develop expensive products because they are more profitable. The goal of any business is to be profitable. If people eat the shit up as fast as you can produce them, why would Apple stop releasing a new $1,000 iPhone every 3 months? They don't focus on developing cheap products, because in the business world, that's what's known as getting involved with a race to the bottom niche. You wouldn't want to develop a cheap product that you'll barely profit on when you're already selling thousands of $1,000 iPhone weekly, which you're making $925 profit on. I didn't look too deeply into your underground train idea, but I would imagine that relates to an increasing population and the necessity of moving people around in large cities. I wouldn't recommend seeing your doctor, because he would probably just give you strong psychotropic drugs and then call it a day. You may be a little crazy, or maybe you just haven't developed a thorough understanding of what's going on in the world around you.
This type of drug isn't strong enough for me. I think there's trains, too. Currency is backed by the fact of it being a secure device and a valuable crypt. The dollar is backed by the general regulation of events on the surface of the earth. The better governance is, the more valuable its notes become. Look at the new $100 bill. How tight are those two blue ulvas woven into the fabric of perception? Face it, money owns you. Gold is only valuable as a commodity.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, Then please subscribe to the channel as more green texts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.